but more like a family chat. I'm gonna pin you. I'm gonna pin myself. Okay. Add pin. All right. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Fridge Agency call. We have, like I said, she's family. She's not a guest, part of our group. We have T Money, Latonia Phipps Agency, one of the second top producer of June. She's, I think you were like what, number three last, well, like the month before that. She
Mhm.
was number seven week two of June on the national leaderboard for top producers, which is one of the hardest boards in the world to get on. But she's a rock star. We all know her. We all love her. We got Latonia. We're gonna kind of chat. We're not gonna, it's not gonna be super formal, but it's just more of a, hey, like, let's just hear from you. She has so much wisdom and she's really on a hot tear right now. And I know for her, she's just one of those people that when you kind of look at her, you get excited about what you're doing. But then also she makes it so easy to follow along and so practical. And I feel like she's the blueprint of, hey, what being successful here looks like. Coming in here, learning the system, learning how to write business, learning how to love and help clients. She's doing it all excited and now she's starting to build. So I can't wait. But yeah, we're gonna kind of get started. I'm so excited. She's also my first agent, so that's also really cool. Scott
Hey
paired us.
y'all, what's going on? Happy Friday to y'all. Thank you so much. I'm over here like, who am I? What, who am I only been here for like 5 seconds. But I'm really excited to like be here and to share the wisdom that I've gotten with you guys. And one, I want to start off to say I'm in the same boat as you guys. I got good days, I got bad days, I got diagonal days. It's crazy. I had the pleasure of speaking with Amaru, and she was like, "You have bad days? Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "Girl, you just don't see it. You don't see it." But yeah. So this has definitely been a journey for me. Sabita, I don't know. Do you want me to just kind of like go into the spiel? How would you like this to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll kind of ask you the first question. So I know
Cool.
you got here, we got you onboarded on the 23rd of December. But we kind of started the really onboarding process in January because you hit
Mm-hmm.
right before Christmas. So we kind of started after Christmas. But kind of tell me a little bit, what did your first 90 days look like when your first 3 months?
Yeah, so believe it or not, my first 90 days was not easy. It wasn't. It was a struggle bus. And one of the reasons why is because, like, I'm going to say last year, I had discovered that I have, I guess, what they call like a learning disability, where I just learn differently. So when I took what I call the SATs of life insurance, I was like, oh my God. That alone put me into like a whole nother headspace. And then transitioning into symmetry and, trying to absorb the videos and the handbook and everything, I was just like, oh, is something wrong with me? Like, is something wrong with my brain? I just felt like I was not getting it. And I realized that I'm a big believer. Anybody that is around me or know me, like, know I love the Lord. But I realized that God was taking me out of what I saw as comfortable for so long and making me believe in myself and depend on myself, like to the biggest thing. And poor Sabina, I'm sitting up here like, girl, you don't love me. You don't love me. Like, please, I am drowning over here. I'm your only person, you know? And I realized that it really was, I had to take a self check to myself and go, you can do this, Latonia. You can do this. Like the hardest part was passing that dang exam. That was the hardest part. And now the hardest part was kind of getting through this handbook and just absorbing the information. And so now you have the business. So now you just got to do it. And I really feel like it was the moment that I said, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to do this for myself, that something just clicked. The way I even showed up with Sabina clicked, the way I was looking at symmetry clicked, and it just all started to make sense. And so instead of it being kind of a struggle bus, it became more like, this is a business that I own and I'm gonna own it and I'm gonna figure it out. And it may not look like everybody else. I may not be where everybody else is. I may learn a little differently, but I'm gonna make it work. And so that lit a fire inside of me so much that every single time I was in a conversation with someone, like a leader, or I was watching something, I became a sponge. I became such a child that I wanted to absorb everything. So if I saw, I'm like, Sabina winning, I'm doing everything Sabina does. Sabina posting on TikTok, I'm posting on TikTok. Sabina's writing for these, I'm doing that. And I just kept doing that. And it may be silly to someone, but I'm like, if I say to myself, I told Scott, I said, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. And I've been saying that since I was a kid, that I'm going to be the first millionaire. But I realized that I was saying I'm going to be instead of operating as I am, right? I started to think to myself, like, if I was already a millionaire, how would I move? How, like, who would I be talking to? Like, my group would get smaller. My way of approaching things would get smaller. How would my schedule look? And so because I did that switch inside of myself, this month is my birthday month. I'm turning 42. People don't believe it, but I am. And I said, I've lived many lives. I've done many things. This is my season. This is the season where I have to make this work. And so I couldn't not grab hold of this vision and make it work. So that's that 90 days. It was rough, but I came out on the other side. I think that after 90 days, you have two decisions. One, you're going to come out as the person that you're going to be, the owner that you're going to be. Or two, you're going to realize this business is not for you. And what happened for me is that I came out on the other side and I was like, boom, this is the person that I want to be. This is
Yeah,
how I want to produce. So that's what it was for me.
that's awesome. Do you ever feel like there was a point in your first 90 days that you were like, I want to quit. Like this is tough. Was there ever kind of that moment that hit you kind of where you're like, I don't know, this is kind of hard, like lead screamed at you, something like
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I mean, I was getting cursed out all the time, like all the time. And there was some points where I was like, I'm just like, I was like, maybe I should just not call DC people anymore. Maybe it's like an East Coast thing. Maybe I should just stay in the South. Southern people are more cooler and calmer and warmer, right? But to be honest, quitting, no, because it's just not anyone who knows me. Quitting is just not my thing. Like if I see something, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm fully invested in it. I go hard in it. But doubting, having that voice in the back of my head saying, this is a scam, this is not going to work, that voice was loud. That voice was loud every single day when I made calls. I literally like convinced myself, I was like, damn, I don't want to post that I'm an insurance agent on social media because people are going to think I like gave up on acting. People are going to think like I'm a part of some hustle or something. I had all these thoughts in my head that was like getting louder and louder and louder. So I knew I wasn't going to quit because I said, look, if I pass, my goal was like, if I pass the exam, I'm going to build a business. Pass the exam. If I get my first sale, I'm going to build a business. Got my first sale. So I was already invested, but that voice in my head was like, maybe you're not good for this, T. Like maybe, you need to, maybe you're too New York. Maybe you're too rough. Maybe you need to, like I had all these things in my head. Maybe this is a scam. Maybe, these things don't work. Sometimes I would speak to people and they was like, yeah, I used to do life insurance. Yeah, I started out that way, and that would make me feel like, dang, should I not be doing this? Should I be doing something else? But I told myself, like, see it through, Latonia. Actually see it through. Anything that you build, you're going to have hard days, but that's a part of the learning process,
yeah,
right? That 90 days took me to being the owner that I want to be. So, like, I had to go through it. So, quitting, no, but definitely I had doubts, big
yeah.
doubts.
What would you say is kind of like a piece of advice that you would give somebody in their first 90 days that really helped you go from, kind of going through it to becoming that owner you are now? Because you own your business probably better than most people that I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say like a few things. One, I think that you need to be very real with yourself and understand this is not for the faint of heart. This is not something that is easy that anybody can do it, because if anybody can do it, everybody will be doing it, right? So I think that that's, you got to be honest, you got to be real. I think the second thing is that you got to understand that the hardest part is over. You passed the exam, you got through onboarding, you did all the things. The hardest part, even if the calls are heavy, the hardest part is over. And you have to congratulate yourself that you did that, because not everybody passed. I know people who are still taking the exam like their eighth time, and I think that the next thing that you have to do is you have to get real clear about your why.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? Is it just because the other jobs didn't work out? Or is it because you really actually see something in this? And I got clear with my why because my why became about freedom. I knew that I needed to get free. I needed to be financially free. I needed to have access to income because I knew I was coming back to acting and coming back to producing. And I wanted to, build that for myself and be able to pay my team. And I want to be just across the board. I don't want to owe debt, and I
Yeah.
want to travel, and I want to be able to pass a legacy down to my kids. And so I've been listening a lot to Ed Milet, if you guys tune into him on Spotify. But he said that anybody can have a goal, but when you start to attach emotion to a goal, it becomes like a living, breathing thing. And so when you go to make a plan for it, it's not just like it's a goal. It's like, no, this thing is actually running. It has legs, it has limbs. And so the emotion for me became, well, I really want to get free. I don't want to have any worries in the world that is regarding money,
Yeah.
because I came from a family where we were struggling for a very long time and I needed to get free of that. That's not my testimony anymore. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. That's so powerful. Definitely want to hear it. Send me that podcast that you listen to. I know I like Ed Milet, but that specific one after. Okay, so you have really locked in kind of on your vision. That kind of, I know there was a light bulb switch. I'm gonna kind of bounce from a different question. I know I remember when we went to conference, I feel like that light bulb really clicked. I feel like before conference, you were still going through that learning curve. But you went to your first kind of conference within your first 90 days. What changed for you at conference? What kind of shifted? Because you went from, I think most you did before conference was maybe 10K in a month to then 25K after pretty much every single month since.
Right. So I think I covered one part is that I definitely got clear on my why and like why I wanted to do it. I knew I needed to attach myself to something that made sense. It couldn't just be like, oh, I want a business because I need to pay my bills. You know what I mean? So like that became important. But really, to be very honest with you guys, what hit me the most at conference is this one speaker that spoke, and I can't remember his name. Maybe you guys can remember, but he's talked about having a personal journey, like a personal story to connect to. And from coming from a performance background, I was always taught that people enjoy TV shows and theater and movies and everything because you take them someplace. Like you make them feel happy and joy and anger and all that, but they leave feeling, even if they say that movie was trash, they felt something, right? And so when you're working with people, it's the same thing. You have to take them someplace. They need to feel the fear of not having that coverage. They need to feel the weight of the sadness of if something were to happen to them, but they also need to feel the joy and the relief if they had something in place. So when he was talking about you need to be able to tap into those heartstrings, but also you need to be vulnerable to tell your personal story. I was like, wait a second, I have a personal story. I lost my mom as a little girl, and my siblings at the time were teenagers. They were like 19 and 20. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, my mom was prepared. She had a policy in place. And when they went to actually go look, the life insurance agent gave her the wrong policy. So we didn't have anything. And we had to figure that out. I'm 13. My sister is 17. My brothers are 19 and 20. So you have these kids trying to like figure out, well, what do we do? And when he said that, I said, you got to give yourself permission to be vulnerable in your interviews. Because how do you expect someone to be vulnerable and to tell you their story and their truth if you can't tell yours? And so when I went back to the role and purpose and I started to look at it, I was like, where can I insert this? So you start off with your intro, setting up who you are and what you're there for. You go through the basics of looking at their health background, their finances. And right before you get to the questions, that first question is, why did you come here? I said, boom, see, that's it. So I start off explaining why I'm an insurance agent, what brought me to it, which gives them the opportunity to feel comfortable to say, well, really? Dang, hearing your story, the real reason why I'm doing this is because I would hate for my family to end up like that. I would hate that. And then you got them. Now you got their ear. I was always taught that you have to win someone's heart before you take their hand.
Yeah.
And so it's important in my interviews when I'm speaking with people that I tap into their heart first. Now I can lead them. Now I can say, well, this is what I think will be good for you. This is what, because now they trust me. So that I think that for me, that's what I took from conference. How to be honest and vulnerable, because I can't ask clients to do that if I'm not, you know?
Dang, that's really good. Yeah. Like Bowie said, that's the guy who's kind of talking about his story, like the power of our story. That's
Yeah.
so good. Okay, so conference really just transformed your business for you. I mean, the conviction you talk about it, I think most of us would say like we need to bring that to more of our calls.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was like, I need to be like, get the after this, hey, what story do I resonate with that? If someone here was saying, hey, I don't know if I can make it to conference, I'm not sure if it's gonna be that much of a priority this year, what would you kind of tell them about it?
Um, I thought about that question a lot because I kind of thought about like, was it something that someone said that convinced me to go? And then I thought about it and I was like, no, there's nothing that I can say that can convince you to go and purchase a ticket. What I would challenge you to say, how bad do you want this? Like how like what is your why? Like how bad do you want to build your business? Because if you say to yourself, well, I'm going to be the first person in my family to be this successful, right? Now you have brought your future self into now, right? Can we talk about that? So my future self right now, millionaire, she's crushing it. She has her children, her family, she's flying everywhere, sitting with Queen Latifah. It's amazing, right? But I'm not looking at that future self like, oh my God, one day I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna pull her into now. So now
Yeah,
I have to think about that future self. Well, how will her schedule look? What will her friends look like? How would she invest in herself? And if that's the case, then I need to start doing that right now. I need to bring her into right now. So to answer that question, I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer it for yourself. If you want this to happen, then you need to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, who are making more money than you, and can give you the tools that you need in order to be successful. I just needed to hear that one thing that that both said, and granted, it was many people that I was so inspired by. But what I took from that was something that resonated with me. Whoa, that's something tangible. I know I have stories. I'm gonna now put a story into my script. And now I'm in other workshops. Oh, I know I can be really good in digital leads. Let me try that. So there's different workshops you can go to that are start to refine the system that you have in place. Because right now it's not that you're not a good, agent or you don't have a great business. Obviously, if you wrote policies, you're good, but there's holes in your system you need to fill. And the only way you can do that is by sitting with people who have done better than you, who have gone through it with you. So if they've already done it, why rewrite the system? Just learn from them and fill in those holes. That's what I would say.
that's so good. And I think, another key point about conference that's so game changer people don't realize is the connection. Zoom's cool, but it's nothing like being in person and going to dinner as a team. I know for me and Christian, I felt like it really changed one for us how we see this business, but I think it honestly solidified us as business partners. We were before, I think, just kind of on the same team, upline. We were getting some people at that point on our team, but that really transformed it from, hey, we knew each other to we were partners in this, to where you needed me to do something for you, I would do it in a heartbeat. And vice versa. But I think people underestimate that you start locking arms with people that you're gonna build this business. You don't want to do it alone. You don't want to be here by yourself because that's one, it's where you're most vulnerable, but it's not as fun. It's way
Yeah.
more fun doing it together as a group. And I think you get to see that unlike any other place. We danced with each other, we all took photos together. Y'all don't understand how much there's a lot of great growth. Go to conference because it's going to transform your business and that, but go to conference because it's going to make you realize that these are the people you want to link arms with, and that
Yeah.
the people that are where you want to be, they're only a few steps ahead of you. And it's based on the little everyday decisions they make now. It wasn't based on them being born different than us. Hey, they're just like that. It's just the little steps they take when you get to go there. Everyone is so down to earth. You wouldn't believe some of the money that some of these people are making and how nice they are and just how
Yeah.
chill they are. I think you get to see that at conference, unlike any other place. So definitely if you haven't gone to conference, I would go. Like you said, hey, there's nothing we can do to convince you to go. But if you want to be here in October, if you're not at conference, I doubt you will be. So there you go. That's all I'm gonna say. Arch Mic drop. Kind of go back because I know we're kind of talking, we talked a little bit about production. What
Uh-huh.
do you feel like helped take you from, I know your first month you did about 4 or 5K. What
Yeah.
kind of helped you go from that to now on average you submit around 25K plus a month in business? What do you
Yeah.
feel like kind of transformed that for you?
I think two, like I would say two major things help. I got real serious about my time. I started to look at my time as money, and I was like, dang, like every second, every minute, every hour is like me spending money, right? And so if I'm not serious about my time, I'm getting broker, and that was a problem for me. And so I started to look at my schedule, and I remember having a conversation with you, Sabina, and was like, how do I do this? Because I have it in my head, but I don't know how to put it together. And we kind of sat down and looked at the week and how I can carve it out. And I came up with this plan, and I said, okay, for my first 2 days, that's going to be my days where I am doing interviews. My third day in the week, this is when I'm meeting with my team. I didn't have a team at the time. You know what I mean? Me and Rochelle's my best friend. We were just talking on the phone. But I was like, the team is coming. I don't have a team, but I have to schedule a day for the team. And so I was like, Wednesdays are going to be my day for the team. I was like, Thursday is going to be when I go back and do policy reviews. Friday is going to be TikTok posting. I don't even know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And Saturdays is going to be when I literally make these calls. Friday and Saturdays, I make these calls to get the appointments for Monday and Tuesday. And so really, I got super strategic about how every single day is going to be spent. And I said, Sunday is going to be my day of rest. I'm going to chill. But the other 6 days, I'm going to make this happen. And I didn't have the team yet, but I was making space for the team, right? I didn't have the budget yet to invest, but I was like, the next policy that I get, that's going to be my investment, right? And so I kept calling, kept doing what I needed, put that money aside and was like, I'm going to make a big jump. And so I would say the second thing I did besides getting my schedule together is that I made a big investment. And that obviously my toes was cramping, and I was like, Lord, you got to stay with me, Lord. But when I made that investment, it happened right before we did the powerhouse. And when I did that, I was like, I'm good. Calling, booking. Okay, we got this here, we got this here. And I got to see firsthand how that investment that I made with myself worked. And so that's what really took me over.
That's amazing. And I
Yeah.
know you kind of work a few different variations. What kind of is your favorite lead type that you're kind of working right now?
Yeah, so right now, I discovered that I am my like I want to say like my bread and butter is life insurance. Like I really enjoy doing life insurance. I do mortgage as well, but I found my bread and butter there. And right now, my focus is on razor ridge leads and also digital lighthouse leads. That's where I am. I do between 10 to 15 a week. As I said in my system, my goal is at least to book at least one policy to cover my overhead, and then everything else I just rinse and repeat. I also worked into my system that as I purchase these leads, this is like my family, right? My brother Tony over here, my aunt Linda over here. This is my family. And I told myself that there's always meat on the bone. And so as I get to the end of the appointment, I have to get a beneficiary. I have to get their information because that's still meat on the bone. And I'm still working referrals. I'm not like good at it yet, I can be honest, but I'm setting up a system that's going to work. I have my leads, those are my families, and there's always meat on the bone. From one lead that I got from Razor Ridge, I wrote 7 policies, y'all. 7. Nobody could have convinced me that this wasn't working. I said, I'm good. I convinced myself. From one lead, I got 7. And it literally was because I just worked the system. I met with them, built that great rapport, found out that they had like all these like connections, was like, oh, okay. So we talked for a couple of days and I just kept on working it and working it and working it. And it does work. Like it does work. There's some leads that's like, oh, that was trash. You know what I mean? But then there's a lot of leads that you're like, that's my client. That's
Yeah.
my client. To the point where one client was like, yeah, I have a ranch. I have horses. You can come and ride the horse. And my partner was like, we are not going to these people. We could end up like on a milk carton. And I'm like, but they have horses. You know what I mean? And so like that's kind of how it's been. I've made these clients my family.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like you do such a good job at that. You nurture your clients so, so well. I know that's a huge key component to you, kind of your success is your nurturing spirit with them. What would you say is kind of your biggest advice for, going for that sale and closing more policies? Because I know the first step in the kind of learning curve, once you start getting appointments and getting them to show, is closing. What do I do when they show up? How do I get them to even go into an application? Uh, I know for some people it gets a struggle, or it's like, hey, I keep getting, I want to think about it. What do you feel like has been kind of a key that you've helped you kind of not just get on the appointment, but close down the appointment, write those policies?
Yeah, I think so. There's not like one way to do anything, but I think that there's a way that can work for you. And when you kind of find that way, you can fine tune it. That role and purpose is really kind of like your Bible. And what I mean by that is because you can make that work any way that you need to. That's one. So that role and purpose is where everything is where that conversation is going to go. It's how you know you got them. It's how you know how open they're going to be. It's how you can get their walls to come down. It's in that role and purpose. I think two, I said this earlier, but I am going to say it again because it really has been what's been working. Being vulnerable, being vulnerable, like telling them like, hey, the reason why I got into life insurance because A, B, and C. This is what I discovered. This is what I've seen, or this is what I experienced. Or have you ever heard these horror stories of people like literally when people like we live in a world right now where there's a lot going on and people are just wanting to be seen and want to be heard and they just want friends, especially older people. If you notice, if you're on the phone with older people, they tend to talk to you like a little longer. I had one old person give me recipes. Like a lot of times people just want to talk. And I think that if we delay rushing to the quotes and really trying to connect with the person, however the conversation goes after that, you've got them because you've positioned yourself not only as the expert, but also as a friend. And now you're a part of the family. And I even say things like this, like, I'm a part of the family right now, right? We're like, you're about to adopt me, and I try to make them laugh and I try to like just like and as much as they try to put up walls, even when they try to put up walls, I'll say like, "Hey, like we're friends, right? We're good, right?" Just to kind of bring that down and then bring them back around. So if I had to give advice, I would say make sure that in that role of purpose, your personal self is in there. Like you have to inject yourself into that role and purpose and hang out with them in a conversation for as long as you can. The selling part process should be 10% of your entire conversation. That 90% should be you just getting to know them. And we live in a time right now where people don't want to get to know people. They're rushing. Oh, I gotta rush to do this, I gotta do that. No, no. These are people, they have families, they have kids, they have life, they have all these things going on. If they can just talk to a person that can just be honest and that they are showing that they really care, you got them. So that's what I would say.
That's awesome. Yeah, that connecting piece is so valuable. You can't have the leadership in the call without the connection first, or you can't have vice versa. No leadership, no connection. And I love how you said, even the disarming, hey, we're friends, right? At the end of the day, the goal should be helping somebody. We're not forcing people into policies, or we're not trying to sell them on something. It should be solving their problems. What would you say is probably kind of some mindset tips for someone who maybe feels like they're in a slum? Maybe they feel like, hey, Sabina, I'm struggling to close some deals right now. What would you tell somebody if they kind of came to you to say that?
Yeah, so I'll share a quick story with you guys. Like right before I hopped on this call, I did my first referral today, and it didn't go exactly as planned. You know what I mean? But when I left the referral, it was my first one, and when I left it, I started to write notes for myself, and I was like, okay, what do you feel like was missing in that? And for me, it was definitely the connection. It was that I was so in my script because it was my first time doing it that I wasn't present. And so I think that I would say for mindset is like develop a process for yourself where you're okay with taking notes about how you can improve. Because like, we are constantly growing, we're constantly evolving. That's important. So I would say that. I would say for a mindset in your schedule, you should be carving out training time. That is really important. If you're not closing the way you need to right now, the amount of hours that you're dialing should equal to the amount of hours you're training. So if you're dialing 3 hours a day, carve out 3 hours of training, because if you can decrease how much you don't know, you can increase how much you bring in.
Yeah.
So I think taking notes about, like, just like little journal notes of like, oh, okay, that didn't go that well, but maybe I can fine tune this. Making sure that you carve out more training. And I also think, just for a mindset thing, have grace on yourself. Like, it's easy in this industry to get imposter syndrome, to see so many people winning and throwing up this and seeing this and start to like tell yourself like, like no one's saying anything about me. It's so easy to do that. I think you need to have grace. Your process is your process. Your journey is your journey. And however you get there, you're going to get there, right? Because you've already did the hard part, as I said earlier. But just have grace and know that it's going to come in time. And I think the very last thing that I would say, and it's something that I learned being an actor, every single no is not a no, it's just next. It's a next opportunity to your yes. And during that no season or that next season, if you can change no to next, you're just getting better.
Yeah.
Your skill is getting better. Like you're understanding things now. Like even when I left a conversation today, I could have easily like, dang, Lord, Sabine about to interview me. I didn't even do that. But instead I wrote a note and I said, oh, it's okay, T. That was great. You did the script. That was your first time. But now as you go to the next person, work on connecting or work on this. And so I celebrate myself, but I also am real with myself in things that I can fine tune.
Yeah. What would you say is, I know you spoke on kind of training. What would you say kind of you do for training? Like when you were, I don't know how what your training looks like now, but I think there's a big component where yes, we have scripts, yes, we have that, but there is a part, hey, we need to become students of this game. Sales
Yeah.
is a technique. Sometimes you luck into a sale, sometimes you talk to somebody and they just need it and they'll say yes, even in the worst way you used to do it. But what would you say kind of you've done for training that has helped you?
Yeah, so one, don't be afraid to like go back to the drawing board. So like the other day I went back through Summit, which is like fast track for some people, and I was like, my God, there was things I could have printed out. There was things that I didn't even realize. Like I went back to the beginning. So that's something that for me was important. Like making sure you actually get through that whole summit, get through the Snitzer book. There's many people who are producing right now that has not even gotten through that. I think that's important to go back to those Chris Leach training, because the mindset that you are right now is not the mindset you were when you first started. So you're receiving things differently. So I think that that's important. I think that what you're listening to and what you're reading, people are dropping books all the time. I don't think a lot of people write down those books. Have one book that you are
Yeah.
going to get through in that month. Like listen to those podcasts when you wake up in the morning. What does your morning routine look like? Like honestly, are you just like waking up, shower, going straight to work, or are you waking up, you have that moment, that private moment for yourself where you get to write, journal? For me, it's journaling. I'm reading the word, I pray and then I listen to something. So I fill myself with what I want to be. Like I fill myself with information that I can produce. And then I have a journal where I'm writing down things for the day. And I learned this from Ed Milet. I'm writing down what I'm most proud of, what I'm most excited about, what I'm most happy about, what I'm most looking forward to, and what I'm committed to. And I'm doing this every single morning because I know I'm about to go into a space where the people are either going to love me, they're going to cuss me out, or they're going to just ream me out, right? And so I need to set up my temple so that I can be able to receive that and bounce back from that. So that's what I would say. That's what been really helping me as far as training and stuff.
100%. That's amazing. And that kind of leads into my last question, and then we're going to leave it open if anyone has any questions or want to say anything. What are you excited about for the rest of the year, and kind of what are some of your goals for the end of the year? I know
Yeah,
we're in the middle
so
of it. We're almost halfway through done. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a plug for myself because I'm proud. But this is my birthday month, so for me, I'm excited about taking the system that I built last month and fine tuning it. I have a number in my head that I want to get to, that I want to see in my bank account in the next 4 months. So I'm excited for like literally being diligent and getting to that number. I think a big goal for me is to come out this year, you know, with uh, between 6 to 8 agents and an AO. You know, I didn't come into this thinking that I wanted to be an AO. I have served as a leader in many aspects in my life, you know, being a minister, 15 years, launching churches, doing all this stuff. So coming into this, I was not giddy about building. But at some point, it just happened. And I was like, wow, if I say that I want to get to being a millionaire, then I'm just going to be open to what God has in store for me. So I'm super excited about building. I'm super excited about seeing that bank account with that number that I want. And I'm just super excited about like rinsing and repeating. I think that when you have your system, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep fine tuning it. It's not, I can't tell you like, well, this worked for me, it's going to work for you. You kind of got to find your own way in, but just keep fine tuning it. You will find it. And once you find it, just like Beethoven, just keep practicing, keep mastering it, because that will be your bread and butter, you know?
It's amazing. Phibbs Agency 2027.
Let's
Y'all heard it. I
go.
mean, you got perfect timeline. Ramp up. Last 3 months.
Let's
October's
go.
first 5 week month. November, December, boom.
Come
Walk into
on.
AO. That's amazing. Okay, that's great. Does anybody have kind of any questions? I know we kind of talked about a lot of different things, or Latonia, do you have anything else you kind of want to share? I mean, I don't want to stop. I don't want to hold back the woman.
No,
Yeah,
no,
go.
I'm good. I shared a lot. I mean, I can talk forever. You know, I used to be a minister, so I'll be forever. But I would love to know if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to share, or if there's something that I said that resonated with you guys. I'm open.
Honestly, just want to say that I'm so unbelievably proud of you. Because I remember watching you come in. I remember the beginning of your journey. I witnessed the struggle bus she's talking about, and she just blew everyone out of the water,
Yeah.
snapped, and just bang, bang everywhere. So you're amazing. I'm so proud of you, and everyone can be so inspired by you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want to make Chase do something. Chase, go. Chase is working on being bold. So anytime we're in a room, he has to say something.
Absolutely. Uh, I would say what stuck with me the most with what Latonia said was probably being yourself whenever going through the role and purpose, or at least fine tuning it a little bit. I've been struggling with closing a lot of the times where, or these last couple appointments, I've been getting that I need to think about it, and it's purely just because I'm not being myself. I feel like it's a little bit of being robotic. It feels like. So fine tuning it, getting more reps in, I think is going to help over time. But absolutely, making it part of yourself, I think will help me out a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Can I just tell you, Chase, how inspired I am by you? Like like I know that you're still figuring this out, dude, and you just came in, but like I think the hardest part was experiencing that. Like the hardest part was saying like, look, I'm struggling with closing, but I do think that like try that. And I want you like I'm gonna give you my number, text me. Try this week when you're speaking to people, try adding a personal story. Just try like as an experiment, right? Also take the pressure off of like, damn, I've been struggling with closing. Like introduce yourself to like Chase 2.0, right? Maybe Chase 1.0 was struggling with closing, but Chase 2.0 doesn't do that. You know what I mean? And so like try adding that personal story, and in that personal story, like see how they change with you. Like just hear it in the phone. And once you hear it, you got them. And say to yourself, I got them. And you're going to see a difference. Okay? Try it. And you could text me, T, that worked. Or T, no, that was trash. It didn't work. Okay? Just let me know.
So good. Anybody
Thank you.
else?
Yeah, I was gonna say like thank you just for sharing. I was gonna say I think we were texting probably like 10 days ago or so, and I feel like ever since I think one of the big things you said was like the why, which you mentioned again today, and I think I haven't concretely found mine, but I think our talk helped me kind of start pivoting that way, but also be patient with myself and like calm down because I'm trying to make everything look a certain way. And then you, like you said, I struggle too. I was like, where are you struggling at? I've been there. I do it all the time. So I appreciate you, like, sharing, and you definitely, always make me feel something. And yeah, yeah. Like I got goosebumps over here. I was over here goosebumps.
Thanks, man. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And I love this group. I love like how God has blessed Sabina so much. So just know I'm in this with you. I am like I'm not like here. Like I'm in it with you. And you guys can like I'm gonna drop my number, but please text me, call me, hop on my calendar. I love talking to people. I love sharing whatever I have because I feel like each one teach one. And there might be things that you guys are really, really good at that I can learn from. So
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're all in this together, and that those like struggles and those growths, like one of our wins can be somebody else's win. You can learn two ways. You can learn either through going through it yourself, or you can learn from somebody else. So this business is great because we have a lot of people that are happy to share how to succeed here. But we also have the choice. Hey, do you want to go through enough suck to get to the point where you want to go through the path that they have kind of laid out? But I love that, Latonia. I loved watching your journey and just you transform into there's just a new leaf. I think conference we saw that, and then we've just seen it even more and more. Even through your social media, we can see it that transformation, that ownership mindset where it's no longer just, hey, this is what I need to do to act. It's, hey, this is what I want to do because I see it as the vehicle that's going to fund what my dreams are. And so I've
yeah.
loved getting to have our conversations have been just so awesome. They used to be very like production heavy. We used to talk a lot about building it or not building, just production and underwriting. And it's been so fun to get to talk through vision with you and to see you just really succeed and to see your sister come into the business, to see Rochelle come into the business. And I mean, she's kicking butt. Like, y'all, she's door knocking. That's so scary. Like she's gone out
Crazy.
there and knocking on her friends' doors and writing tons of business. Um, but I think it's just such a testimony to you and who you are as a leader that she came in her first full month, did 5K. I mean, that's amazing. Issue paid it. She wrote more than 5K, but she issue paid 5K. So I am just so proud of y'all. So proud of the Phibbs agency. Can't wait to go. I mean, keep cheering. Y'all cheer on Latonia. She's going for definitely team leader this month, if not key leader. Going for that and going for that 100. But I'm so excited to have you on. I mean, it was so fun to get to do an interview together. Um,
Nice. This was cool. Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you guys for having me. This is
yeah.
really cool.
Well, everyone, you have a safe 4th of July. We have that coming up. You can still work on 4th of July if you want. I probably wouldn't call past like 2, but do what you want to do. You can call however you want. We're excited. Christian and I are celebrating our anniversary on the 5th. So if you text us, we probably won't be texting back. Just to give y'all a heads up. But we will be out probably going to chill or do what I don't know what we're doing. But if you text us in an emergency, don't text Scott, text anyone on this team, text Wilbur, I don't know. Text Latonia, text Laura,
You can
text
text too.
anyone, text anyone, text in that chat. Someone will help you, I swear. But we're excited. We have such a momentum coming. I know that sometimes when the leaderboard shows, it shows just my name or the Fritch agency, but that isn't just me. That's all of us. I'm so excited for our team. I'm so excited for the momentum that's happening. And I can't wait to see each of y'all just with your own teams too. I think each of person on this call, you have such a gift, such a calling on your life to lead people, to help people, to bless your clients. And I want to encourage y'all, there's people that are waiting for you to be on the phone with them and to show up who you are, who God made you. I don't know, even if you're not religious or not, God designed you. You're made unique. That if not, we'd all be the same. But there's people that need the exact way you show up. And I think that's what transformed your business. So as you stop showing up trying to morph into something, you just showed up as yourself. And not that you morph too much because you're very yourself, but you honed into your story. And I think
Yeah.
that completely transformed your business is that you are more yourself on the calls. You are so connecting with clients because you're so connected to yourself. And I
Yeah.
love that. And I love that you're not shying away from who you are. No, your New York's still there. It's strong and proud, which is good. We love that. We love your New York style. But I'm so excited for this team and where it's going. And thank you, Latonia, so much for blessing our team. And I'm excited.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm excited too. This is about to be a year. We turn it up. Let's go.
We
Come
turn it
on.
up. All right, everyone. Y'all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.